What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. We are just 4 days away from the Premier League season, from FPL kicking off again. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to look at my team, which is up on screen now. Answer your questions. We'll be looking at your teams as well. We'll be doing all of the usual bits. Now, quickly before we start, YouTube has been bugging out for me, so which means I can't see the stream. Normally there's a little icon that I can see, which makes sure everything's looking okay, and it's basically not working. So I'm just trusting you all that if anything goes wrong, you're going to tell me. I don't imagine it will, but this is a little bit unnerving that I can't see anything that's going on. I've got it on OBS, but I've not got it on the streaming platform. Anyway, let's dive in. Say hello if you guys are in the chat. Massively appreciate all you guys deciding to spend your Monday evening with me. Again, as I said, we are 4 days away from Premier League being back. That camera doesn't look quite straight. That looks a bit better. Yeah, thank you all very much for joining me again. We'll be going through your questions, my questions, but let's say hello to a few of you in the chat. Let's make sure I've got this tweeted out. A professional start to the stream as always. But anyway, who have we got in here? We've got Connor, we've got Dylan, we've got John, we've got NY, we've got Maz, we've got Dan, Thabo, Rohit, Dylan, Near, Devo, Brian, Ryan, Johnny, Justin. Who else? We've got Magic. Evening to the moderators, evening to John, our new member as well. Joined as a member while the stream wasn't even live. What a guy. Leo, Alan, Redhead, Jen, Ash, 7am, Daniel, Connor, Alif, Anthony, Fayad, Savio, Head, Carl, so many of you, Travis, Hutch, Nick, Dylan, Alfie, so many of you guys in, some familiar faces and some new faces. To the familiar faces returning again, thank you so much for coming back for another season. And new faces, welcome to the streams. Streams are, I won't list the whole chat, don't worry, I won't do everyone. But yeah, to new viewers, I hope you enjoy. Streams are the best part of it. It's my favourite part of the channel. The deadline streams, these sorts of streams as well. All of this is great. So welcome. Before we get going, if you guys could just hit a like on the stream as well. Get the stream started off as strongly as possible. Simply FPL, Sam, thank you very much for joining as a member. Again, I've got some... Before he ruins it, I won't plug membership all evening to you guys, but I do have a membership now for you. We have 2 tiers. We have the tier 1 up there and the tier 2. Basically, either tier gets you access to some of these emojis that you see at the bottom here, including some of me now. We'll come into membership later on, but that's not why you guys join the stream. Let's get into a few questions. So, thoughts on Martinez as a goalkeeper? So for me, there are only 3 goalkeepers that... There's only 3 goalkeepers that I really want to own this season. If I'm going for a 5.5 million goalkeeper, I'm going for Edison. If I'm going for a 5 million goalkeeper, I'm going for Ramsdell. And if I'm going for a 4.5 million goalkeeper, I am going for David Raya. That is where I'm at. That is my thoughts at the moment. So yeah, that I wouldn't be going with Martinez. Their first 3 fixtures are really nice, but after that it gets more difficult. And I want a player that I'm happy with for sort of the first 6, maybe 8 game weeks. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment on goalkeepers. I've got Raya in at the moment because I don't have any spare money with this draft. If I could upgrade to Ramsdell, maybe I would. Triple Arsenal game week 1. Fine. But, so, some of you saying, sorry, yes, my backup goalkeeper, in theory, will be Ward at Leicester. Ward at Leicester. Again, so the reason Ward is going to go in is because it looks like Schmeichel is going to leave Leicester, and Rodgers has said today that it will be between Ward and Iverson about who it is that gets that starting spot. So it could be either of them. There we go, that's better. So it could be either of them. Could be Ward or could be Iverson. And Ward is 4 million. So you may as well take the chance that you have the Leicester starting goalkeeper if Schmeichel does end up moving. There are no other 4 million goalkeepers that are worth picking. So you may as well pick the one for Leicester that's got a chance of playing. Raya to Ramsdell, Neto to Bailey. So one of the other decisions that I've got to make, I've got a couple of decisions left to make. Again, I'm just... Sorry, making sure everything is aligned properly. A couple more decisions I've got to make. One of them is Neto versus Leon Bailey. It's a very, very 50-50 call at the moment about which I go with. I think I slightly prefer Neto, and the reason for it is if you look at their fixtures long term, first 6, I'm pretty happy with him in 5 out of the first 6, and I don't really want to have to be dealing with something like that. Whereas if you look at the Aston Villa fixtures, it's only really the first 3, maybe the first 4 to be fair. Maybe it's the first 4. But my issue with Bailey is, if something goes wrong, let's say he doesn't perform well in game week 1, it could be like that and he's out of the team. Whereas with Neto, like, he could put in a bad performance and I'm 95% sure that he will play again every single week. So I'm not really worried about Neto's minutes. And at the beginning of the season, I really try and pick players that I'm not going to have to worry about them getting on the pitch. Looking at my squad here, I don't really have anyone. Maybe you could say Martinelli, but while Smith Rowe's not fit, I don't really have anyone that I'm really worried about seeing the lineup come out, which is what I want to go into the start of the season with, because there'll be things that happen that I need my transfers for. I don't want to have to use it on players being dropped or players being rotated out of the team. So that's why I've ended up with a team that looks like this for the time being. You've loved Aronson at Leeds. He played March in Austria. Minutes will be there. He's looked really good. He got 3 assists in their most recent game as well, didn't he? Very, very impressive. 3 assists for him in that game. So yeah, he could be a good option. The Leeds fixtures to start the season are not bad as well, to be fair. I don't have anyone Leeds in my squad. Maybe if I go... let me just... that's not the thing I'm going to be hiding. Let me do that one. I'll get transfer page up on... Let me try not to click my mouse as well. I have it on tap. Almiron or Bailey. Right, this is being asked in the chat a lot. For me, it's still Leon Bailey, just about, out of the two of them. Almiron's been good in pre-season, but he's never really done it in the league before. Again, the first game is good. The first 5 games are not great from an attacking point of view for Aston Villa. For me, like, Wolves away is a great defensive fixture. Like, I'm happy to have Trippier. And Brighton away, great defensive fixture. Happy to have Trippier. But I don't think it's that good from an attacking point of view. So I'm not loving... I did have Almiron into my drafts, and he has since left my drafts. And this is what we've ended up with. This is what we've ended up with. Will Martinelli get... Sorry, not Martinelli. Martial get minutes. So I can't see why he doesn't get minutes. Looking at the Arsenal team now... So I'm mincing my words. Martinelli and Martial, I'm getting mixed up. Martial, I think he should be getting minutes. I don't quite know what's going to happen with Ronaldo. It wasn't great. You know, he left the stadium. The PR team have obviously worked wonders, in my opinion, and he seems to have said that, they were allowed to. I can't really see that being the case. But I wouldn't go with Martial, because if Ronaldo's fit, Ronaldo's really going to play. So I would still be going Rashford at 6.5 million in midfield before I went with Martial. I don't love it. I don't love that United team as a pick early on. Again, their fixtures are okay. Not great from an attacking point of view, in my opinion. So I still think I'd go elsewhere from them, especially given that last result that they've had. Would I pick Johnny Aït-Nouri? So I'd probably go Aït-Nouri. For me, slightly more attacking. There isn't that much rotation threat to either of them now. I suppose Johnny could go on the left when someone else plays on the right, but for me, Aït-Nouri is probably the more attacking out of the two. So I would be going with Aït-Nouri over Johnny. Thank you very much for the super chats. First super chat of the stream. Welcome. Thank you all for joining again on this Monday evening. 250 of you watching and only 70 of you have liked the stream. Come on. Get liking. Is Nketiah a good pick? No, I don't think he'll start for Arsenal. I don't think he'll be starting. Is Ben White a good pick at 4.5? So, 4.5 defenders. For me, Ben White is fine. My issue is when Tomiyasu comes back is who drops out? Is it Ben White that drops out? Is it Saliba that drops out? Is it Tomiyasu just not coming back in at all? And basically, we don't know. We don't know who's going to come out of that Arsenal defence, which makes me too worried about going and picking any of them, because I just know the chances are I'm going to pick the wrong one. You'd expect Ben White to be pretty nailed. Like, he was good for them last year. For him to be dropped feels like a bit of a surprise, but that could happen. So for me, I'm avoiding those Arsenal defenders. If I wanted a 4.5 now, I'd probably go one of the Wolves guys. I might go Dallo again because I like their fixtures defensively. That's probably where I'd go. Maybe Dunk. Again, 4.5 for Dunk feels like an absolute bargain. But thank you for the super chat, Omar. So KDB is a better option than Haaland as a second premium next to Salah. Convinced me the opposite. So if you watch the game, like Haaland, although he didn't score, had a lot of chances to score as well. I think he had 1.5 XG in that game. He's $500,000 cheaper. There are so many other good midfielders that you can have instead of De Bruyne. But there aren't the forward options that you can have instead of Haaland. Like, if I put De Bruyne in there, I'd have to find $500,000. I'd also have 2 4.5 forwards, and there are no good 4.5 forwards in the game. It helps squad structure so much with going for Haaland over going for De Bruyne. Saliba stays in. Tomiyasu comes in for White, if anything. But you think the back four will stay the same until results go bad? Well, that could be it. Ben White, it could be Tomiyasu. To be honest, with Tomiyasu's injury record, it's not impossible that he doesn't get anywhere. He doesn't come back in, or he's not even fit until September, October time, the way that he goes. A few of you commenting on my Mason Mount pick, right? And I have spent a lot of preseason saying I'm not a big Mason Mount fan. And basically, he's the one in my team that I'm least sure on at the moment. Probably the one starting player that I'm the least sure on. So I like the squad as a whole. I like the structure I've got. Mason Mount, I don't love. Let me zoom out a little bit here so we can get there. So in terms of like midfielders at 8 million. There are a lot of them in here. Again, let me sort by price. There are a lot of them in here that I like, but I don't love. Like Saka I would have, but I feel like Martinelli is such better value. You've got Luis Diaz again, which I could go with, but I'd have to drop Robertson. The Man City guys, again, I'm worried a little bit about the rotation with them. Again, we saw Grealish and Mahrez start. It could easily be Alvarez and Foden in the next game. Then Kulusevski, again, I like. I could use the Spurs cover. But again, like, I don't love their opening three. Wolves at home is okay. It's not amazing. So I'm not sold on Mount. Like, the other thing I could do is I'd go Robertson to Reece James. Robertson to Reece James. And then go and get Luis Diaz in. And that frees up $1 million. That frees up $1 million of spending. Now, I haven't been a big fan of Mount, but he has had a pretty good pre-season. So, Victor, thank you for the super chat. Thank you all. Basically, I hit 50,000 followers on Twitter this afternoon. Thank you all so much for your support. If you follow me over there or subscribe on YouTube, massively, massively appreciated. I again post advice there, YouTube, the TikTok, the whole lot. But thank you all who have followed me over there. Massively appreciated. Get rid of Salah. Absolutely no chance. No. You put in Maddison as a punt. So with these rumours that he's potentially going to Newcastle, I don't love that because there's a chance that game week 1 comes around and he's just not in the starting lineup at all. Why was my light not on? There we go. That's a bit better. So that's my worry with Maddison. Again, in my last video, I spoke about the new graphic, so the blue versus the green trim. Again, it's probably a really marginal thing for you all, but let me know what you think of the blue. So I changed from, it was green all the way around, you might not remember, but I changed it. Maddison's got 180 points. Yeah, he's proven. He is, but again, with all this saga going on, I don't think that I necessarily want him to start the season. So, like, the opening 5 fixtures are not good enough for me to take a punt on Maddison, in my opinion. Giandre Boats, your thoughts on Vardy? Is he nailed? Again, FOMO. There's no FOMO on Vardy for me because no one really owns him. Again, looking at these Leicester fixtures while we're talking about Maddison, as much as I like Leicester, for me, I'm waiting. Look at this run from game week like 6 to 13 or 6 to 17. That sort of wild card when we wild card about game week 8, which is what we're probably all planning on doing this year. He's really nice, and the Leicester guys are big options for us then. But for me, to start the season, there's no reason to have these guys in your team looking at those fixtures. So he's a no-go for me at the moment. Daka is right on Vardy's tail again. I can't see him playing like twice a week. Now, they don't have Europe this year, but there are midweek game weeks. Like game week 5 is midweek. Well, there's a possibility that Vardy doesn't want to play twice a week or 3 times in like 8 days, which is what you'd have to do in game week 4, 5, and 6. And as soon as you miss out on one of those, then it's just not really worth it. So, yeah, personally, I'm not behind Leicester apart from Ward. But let me know what you think of my team. Zinchenko and Saka or Robertson and Martinelli. Robertson and Martinelli, easy, definitely. What do I think about going with the front three of Kane, Haaland, Jesus, and Darwin? For me, Darwin's not worth it. Like Robertson and Diaz are both cheaper, and I think will perform as well. Like I can't see Diaz starting like all of. I said like about 5 times there. I can't see Diaz starting all of the first 5 games. All of the first 5 games, for example. So for me, it's a no-brainer to go with Robertson or Diaz over him. Victor, thank you for the super chat. You do have a question. You tweet me your team. Hard to decide on James and Perisic. Yeah, so Spurs is something we'll talk about. We can talk about them now. You also said attempt to Nunes, Son instead of Kane, Diaz, Mount. No. I'd Diaz over Nunes. Even if you want to go, yeah, Diaz for me is the one at Liverpool if you're going for a second attacker. So yeah. Cool. So Spurs was what we were going to talk about. I like Spurs a lot. Perisic and Doherty do look like their first choice now. My only concern with them is I don't have anyone Spurs in this team. Let's go on this tab. Let's get the FDR up as well. Cool. So like Southampton at home in game week 1 is okay. It's good. Chelsea away is okay. Wolves, Nottingham Forest, like they're fine fixtures. They're not bad at all. But what happens if Perisic, for example, like game week 4, 5, 6, again, he could easily miss Forest or Fulham, which are the ones you want to have him starting in. And if they're not starting in these ones, then it's a bit pointless owning him. Now, they could keep 2 clean sheets in their first 3. That's very possible, but he could also miss one of them. I like them as options. I do like them. I just have felt that I've gone for more nailed options. I feel like I've gone for more nailed options in my team, which is why I've ended up with what I've got. Like I could go Trippier to Doherty, for example, but looking at the fixtures for Newcastle over the first 6, for me he's just as good, if not better. Now I could like go Mount to Diaz and Robertson to Perisic, for example, and not go with the Chelsea defender or Chelsea player at all. That is again a possibility, but it would be this spot that Perisic would fill for me versus this one. Am I worried about no Spurs? 100%, and I am still thinking about where I get them in. But Sessegnon's been okay. I was going to say so good. I wouldn't say he's been so good, but for him now to play no minutes feels a real I just don't think that's going to happen. So I can't see like Sessegnon not playing at all. Now it's possible that he just comes on for half an hour every game with the 5 sub rule. That's possible, but it's also possible that he starts one of them. So a few of you asking why I've got Patterson instead of Neco Williams. So the reason is, so they both basically play right wing back in a 5 at the back system. But if we look at the fixtures for my team, the key ones that I'm looking at are game week 3 and game week 5, where I have difficult fixtures for some of my other options. Like I've got, for example, Trippier. I'll need to bench him game week 3, game week 5, for example. And if you look at Patterson, Everton, game week 3, game week 5, they've got Leeds and Forest, whereas Nottingham Forest go away to Everton and I've got Man City. So he fits into the rotation of my squad better. If the fixtures were the other way around, I'd have Patterson. It's basically a fixture thing. After that, it gets difficult for them, whereas it does get easier for Forest is the only thing. Like from 6 onwards, it gets easier for Forest. But I might be wildcarding about then anyway. So I can make the swap game week 6, 7, 8 when I make the change, when I wait my wild card anyway. So that's okay. I'm not too bothered. Not too bothered about it. Shouldn't you start Ward? Is better game week for if he plays. Yeah, I might do. I might play him like this. I don't think he'll start game week 1 because he's not had any preseason. He's not had any preseason at all, and I just don't think he's going to be fit to start. So I don't think it will really matter. But I can do it like that if I want. And then Archer. So again, my bench I'm pretty set on. Where's my mouse? It doesn't show the mouse view. Does it show? Hang on. I think I'll need to change my settings. Does it show the drop down? No. Fine. Anyway, Archer has... Today, Aston Villa have said that he's not leaving. He's not leaving. So if he's not going to leave, then he might get minutes. And I think he's probably the best 4.5 forward. Greenwood at Leeds might be the same, get a similar amount of minutes, but he's not as good, and he's likely to drop in price early because he's so highly owned. So for me, Archer is the one I'll be going with. My bench we don't need to talk about too much, but I'm pretty happy with it. Again, like it feels like I've got little investment, but a strong enough bench. I think Patterson is nailed for the foreseeable. 2 games in preseason and 2 assists as well. Was one of their best players in one of the games as well. So I really like him. Diaz or Edison, better for Man City double up. Again, it depends what you do elsewhere. I'd probably go Diaz because I don't love Edison. For me, a 6-point merchant is not what I want in goal. He's the best at 6 million, but if I could go elsewhere, then fine. The only thing is, like, the fullbacks, all of these guys have got that attacking threat, which I love. Victor, 5 sub open a lot of roulette like Pep. Yeah, players like Pulisic, Grealish, Foden, Vardy, many others. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. There could be a lot of these sort of rotation-prone players. But it will work both ways, right? Because it means that Foden could start every game now because they know that he can take him off after 30 minutes. Or, sorry, after 60 minutes every single game because they've got 5 subs. So it could work in both ways. Victor, you offer me a great opportunity very quickly just to talk about the memberships we have on the channel. Basically, I know, thank you so much everyone for the super chats, but for $1.99 a month, you have unlimited super chats to the tier 1. You get a badge, you get all these emojis as well. And for the tier 2, you get access to the members only group chat, which includes myself, all the other members, all the mods as well. And I'm in there every day chatting, answering questions, not just on stream as well. So as much as I love the super chats, you guys are much better off just having a membership to the channel. And there is a league for the tier 2 members as well. You get a nice little badge, you get nice little emojis, you get priority replies in the chat as well. I reply to every one of your questions as well. But we're not here to talk about this all the time. But I like the little transitions. I've been working hard. Let me know what you think. I think the 4 million Everton player is nailed. I don't need him very much. But yeah. Neto out for McNeil, any chances? No, not for me. I love these Neto fixtures. They look pretty fluid and pretty good going forward in the last couple of preseason games, even without Jimenez. Leeds, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham, Newcastle at home even is not bad. So you missed the early Edison chant. He's under consideration after his assist. He is. He's been good. He's been good. He got 3 assists, didn't he, for Leeds in their most recent game? I just don't quite know how I'm going to fit him in. I'm not dropping Neto for him, and I'm definitely not dropping Martinelli. Martinelli is one of those players absolutely nailed in my team. We are going to do some team ratings in a bit. We will get to those. Talk me out of Meslier. He's fine. He's one of the keepers I am considering versus Rye. Their fixtures are probably slightly nicer if I get Leeds' fixtures up. If we get Leeds' fixture up. Sorry, that's not who we want. We want all players, Raya. I'm not even looking at the right player. You wanted Meslier, didn't you? So we can talk about the other guy, the Aronson as well here. The fixtures are pretty nice. Like Wolves at home, Southampton, Brighton, Everton, Brentford, Forest. Like for the first 8 game weeks, Meslier set and forget. It's not a limit to how bad. There's a limit to how bad it can go. Thank you guys for joining as tier 2 members. So Julio Panna, drop me a message on Twitter, as well as Fayad Rashed. Drop me messages on Twitter with a screenshot of you joining as a member, and I will get you added into the group chat for all members, and we can talk about your drafts in there straight after this stream. I will be putting a tweet out in a minute, which will help you guys if you want to get them rated on the stream as well. But if you want, drop me a message on Twitter once you've joined, and we will get you added as to the group chat as well. Nuclear, if you are in, please can you just remove messages which are people plugging league codes? Thanks. Leno at Fulham could be nice at 4.5. The only issue is their fixtures are really hard to start the season. So if we look at Pereira, he's another one which that sort of wild card here, that wild card from game week 8 is really nice. That game week 8 wildcard, Leno will definitely be one we're looking at depending on how Fulham have looked for the opening few fixtures. So yeah, I like him a lot. Thank you, Juiced, for the super chat, and thank you, Matt, for joining as a member. Appreciate it. Rice, maybe if West Ham goes. Is Rice 5 million? Rice, he is 5 million. Okay. I mean, he's not better than Bailey. He's not better than Almiron, though, to be fair. He's not a bad pick, but he's probably not, going to get 10 plus maybe attacking returns a season that maybe we're going to get from Bailey and Almiron. Those would be the two that I go with. A few of you thoughts on Odegaard, and I posted a tweet which actually people didn't all agree with on. I don't know why people are going with Odegaard over Martinelli. For me, Martinelli at 6 million versus Odegaard at 6.5 is a kind of no-brainer. Now, people have said that Odegaard's going to be a little bit more advanced this year. He's going to be less of that assisting the assister and might actually get some chances. For me, I owned Odegaard for a lot of last season, the second half of the season, and it's very infuriating watching him play because he gets in the final third really well, but it's never the player having the shots, never the player really making that final third pass. He's often playing a pass in behind, which then gets squared and scored, things like that, which is not what I want. Martinelli on set pieces as well, could be on pens as well. For me, is the one that I would go with out of the two. Rice is 5 million, scored 95 points last year. It's okay, but I would expect both Bailey and Almiron, if they played as much as he did, to outscore that. So yeah. Cool, yeah. If you guys send me that message on Twitter, perfect. I will do that afterwards. But yeah, again, guys, thank you all for joining. If you are new, please make sure you've hit that subscribe button. We're chasing 25k subscribers come Game Week 1. It's a bit of a push, I'll grant you. But if you could just subscribe, again, completely free. And if you haven't already, like the stream as well. It all massively helps. Almiron or Bailey? Bailey just about for me. Just about, given their opening 3 fixtures. And then if Almiron's been good, you can move sideways. If not, then you don't need to worry about it. Mahrez is not the best 8 million mid. It's close. For me, Diaz is still the best 8 million mid. And then I can't really decide. Saka, Kulusevski, Mount, I like all of. Mahrez and Foden, my worry is their minutes. Again, how many games are they going to start in the first 4 or 5 weeks? If it's 3, then that 3 out of 5 is not good enough. 4 out of 5, yeah, maybe we're just about getting in a place I'm going to be happy with. But they have 4 wingers now for 2 positions, and they're all very capable of nailing down that starting spot. So I'm quite happy starting with Mount, for example, and then I can go, okay, which City winger do I think it is going to be that's going to be the one to go on? And maybe I could do that. Well, maybe I should start with Saka and go triple Arsenal attack for the first few, and then go, okay, I'm going to sell Saka now, and I'm going to go, after game week 3, okay, I've seen enough of Man City. I'm going to move to Foden, for example. I could do that. I could do Saka in for Mount, and it is, again, something I'm considering. Triple Arsenal attack doesn't feel quite right. But we'll see. Again, Mount's the least locked-in player in my starting lineup here. Sancho, Bailey, or Rashford, Neto. Rashford, Neto for me. No Spurs love. Yeah, it's something I get on every video and every draft I put out. No Spurs, no Spurs. And I don't love it. I'm not a big fan of having no Spurs, but I don't know how I could get it. Mount to Kulusevski is possible. But Richarlison will get minutes, and it will be at Kulusevski's expense. Now, I'm not expecting him to start, but I'm expecting him to get minutes off the bench, which is going to come at his expense. That was a really great sentence. It's going to come at Kulusevski's expense, even if it's an early sub. The Discord is booming. I know, if you guys are not in the Discord already, there's a link in the description which will take you to the Discord. Make sure you guys are getting in that ahead of the season as well. And what are my thoughts on Walker? 5 million Walker, I can just about get behind. But for me, the attacking threat has never been there with Walker. And I look at a player like Trippier or like Doherty, and they're just more exciting picks. Now, it's possible that Manchester City keep 4 clean sheets in their first 5, and you're going to get maybe 2 here maximum. But it's possible that Trippier gets 2 clean sheets and an assist in the first 4, for example. So for me, I'm going with the upside, the explosive part of Trippier. I should have a command, which is !Discord. I don't know how I set that up. Maybe I'll work it out. Is 3 a disaster? Defense of Trent, Zinchenko, Trippier, and Walker. No. If you've got a defense that looks like that with a 3-mium, then go for it. It's personal preference of 3-mium. I don't like it because I don't think it is a strong enough squad structure. But you can go with it if you like it and you think you've got enough in there. For me, I love the premium defenders too much to go with a 3-mium. And I'm not dropping Jesus as well. So I basically have to sell Mount up to Son, for example. That's a 4 million gap, which I have to go and find, which basically means I've got to sell Robbo. I probably have to sell Cancelo and get Edison in goal. These other things are not worth it, as much as I love the other options. What's a Fulham score? Well, yes, that wouldn't be great, but I might end up with Diaz because it helps squad structure. I'm pretty set on this being my bench come game week 1. I'm pretty set on my squad structure. I would be surprised if Cancelo and Trippier will be in there. Salah will be in there. Martinelli will be in there. Haaland, Jesus will be in there. Neto is really Mount, Robbo, Raya, the 3 that could move. I think that's about it. Neto's a very small chance that he moves. Very small. Kinga, welcome. Thank you for joining as a Tier 1 member. What a guy. Thank you all for joining. Am I planning to go to Trippier when they play City? Yeah, so can I go... list view. It doesn't work on here like it works on the mobile. When you go on list view on the mobile, it's great because it shows the fixtures for the upcoming weeks, which you don't get that here. I should get it on transfers. Nope. Fine. So, again, a few of you asking about why I've got Patterson. So, if we look at the fixtures, there are difficult games for him. Game week 3, game week 5. Keep those in your mind. Game week 3, game week 5. Game week 3, Nottingham Forest at home. Game week 5, Leeds away. Now, if you go and check the similar fixtures for your Nottingham Forest, Neco Williams, you again, all players, will just be Williams, won't it? Neco Williams, again, you go and see their fixtures in game week 3 and game week 5. Game week 3, Everton away, so they play each other, and then 5, Man City away. The 2 weeks I need him, he's much better. Coleman will play when he's fit. I'm not sure that's the case. I think I disagree with that. I think Patterson has done enough in pre-season, and if he starts the season well, it's his place to lose. Coleman's not even back in training. I can't see him coming in. Now, when they play 3 games a week is the only thing. 3 games a week, for example, 4, 5, 6, it is chance that he comes in. No, Vinagre again has been brought in to be a backup for Mikalenko on the left-hand side. That's where he came on for as well in the pre-season game recently. It's Patterson versus Coleman on that right-hand side. And for me, it's Patterson. He didn't play last year because he was injured when he came in January. And he is a great young talent, and Coleman is getting on. Lampard loves his young talent. We've seen it time and time again that a young player gets the chance over an aging player. So, Jen, welcome. Thank you for joining. tier 2 member with you. Again, drop me a message on Twitter and I'll get you added to the group chat straight after this. A few of you members in the chat, if you're still here, get those emojis in the chat as well. There is a couple of them in here which are my face. Let me peer around all the stuff I've got in the way. Edison versus Ramsdell. For me, it would be Ramsdell. Again, I think they're good defensively. He's better for bonus points. He's better for save points. I'd save that $500,000. If you've got it spared, then fine. But for me, I'd go Ramsdell. I'd probably save the $500,000. I'd probably save $500,000. Do I think the team with Diaz is better structured? But with Robertson team, there is more potential for points. The problem is who to be the 8 million without Diaz and Saka. This is it. I like the squad structure a little bit more with Diaz, but this looks good. Don't plan on changing this massively. Again, there's only 3 players who I'm really going to change between now and the start of the season, which I feel like is a very good place. Unless, of course, something comes out in the press conference, then of course I will change it. But I'm pretty set on. it. But yeah, all the new members, please drop me a DM on Twitter and I'll get you added to the group chat straight afterwards. Thoughts on 5 at the back without an 8 million midfielder. So I had that, and I had Mount in, and I had Reece James in there, for example, and I spent the money elsewhere. It's not impossible. I like having an 8 million midfielder because there are so many, and there is bound to be one that explodes at the start of the season, and you will want them, and everyone will go, I need that 8 million midfielder. Which is why I'm not sweating about the Mount pick at the moment, because I know if I get it wrong, I've got a squad that I know will set me well for the foreseeable, unless there's big injuries or something. But I know that I'm in a place where I can get to a lot of these guys pretty easily. So if it's not Mount and I go, it's Kulusevski, straight swap. Saka again, unless there's price changes early on, but I'm still pretty happy with it. I might just punt on one of them and go, you know what? The rest of my team is the template to the T, basically, apart from maybe Trippier, but he's still 17% owned at the moment. So, I could go Foden, for example. I could punt on one of these guys early on. Hope he starts Bournemouth, because that could be a massive haul. I could start with Saka. So, a few of you just said in the chat, could I start with Saka? Yeah, I could go Saka in here. I could even go Saka and then go Leon Bailey instead of Martinelli, for example. That's very possible. So, although I said Martinelli is nailed in my team, in theory he's not, because I might go Saka instead. But it's possible that I'll be going with at least 2 Arsenal attackers. Thoughts on Walker and 2 million over Cancelo? It's still a no-go. I still think they're going to sign a fullback before the end of the window. You've got to remember that the transfer window shuts 3 weeks after the start of the Premier League season, so there's still a lot that we don't know going into the start of the season. Again, just a few sort of transfers coming in. Leicester seem to be wanting to do a lot of business. Brentford are going with Damsgaard. Leicester apparently going in after Dubravka, which makes me think that Pope's first choice. Hope you noticed that I start the new member trend with the super chats. For me, it's just a way to say thank you and offer a drink. Thank you, Victor. Again, massively appreciate all the super chats. Joining a member is equally as amazing as well, and we can chat all the time. But if not, the super chats are great. I appreciate it all. Thoughts on Henderson as a low-cost option? For me, he's not the best 4.5. For me, he's not the best 4.5 goalkeeper because the fixtures to start are difficult. So if we look at, again, Neco Williams. Hope you're having a nice holiday, by the way. Goalkeepers, Henderson. So, again, I think come game week 6, when we start playing our wildcard, he could be one to consider. But for me, the first opening 5 are really difficult for Forest, which is why I don't have Neco Williams in my team. So, I don't dislike him as an option long-term, but I think short-term I'll be going somewhere else. Gender, thank you. Trent, you've got Trent, Zinchenko, Trippier, Walker. Feels very light on Man City defence. But anyway, Salah, De Bruyne. You've tried to go threemium. That's what you've done. And I understand it. So you've had to go Walker over Cancelo. You've had to go Bailey over Neto, for example. Like, as threemium teams go, it's fine. I'd probably downgrade Zinchenko to a 4.5 and then try and maybe upgrade someone. Oh, you've got 500,000 in your bench. I don't know who your goalkeeper is. I really would want Cancelo in here, but I understand with this you don't get it. It's one of the best threemiums I've seen, to be fair. I still probably want Haaland over De Bruyne. That frees you up 500,000. Zinchenko to a half frees up another 500,000, which leaves you just 500,000 short of going Walker to Cancelo. I'd look at something like that. But I still like it. It's not bad as those sort of threemium teams go. Palace defence is quite stingy. You're not loving Arsenal attackers in game week 1. They've just looked so good, and I feel like they could score against anyone. And then this run is great. And you don't want to have to book in early transfers, especially Palace away is not bad. Might not be exactly what you want, but the opening 8 fixtures are beautiful for them. And then when we wildcard in game week 8, we'll all sell them again, or we'll just keep Jesus and that'll be fine. But for me, you've got to have at least one in there. And the issue is, as soon as you only own one, there's basically no gain in it. If you just have Jesus, the ownership of Jesus, Saka and Martinelli is so high already that you basically are behind. You're behind the curve straight away. So I wouldn't want to be going with only one of them. You need 2 of those in your team. Ramsdell and Dalot, or Raya and Zinchenko. I would be going with Ramsdell and Dalot probably. Thoughts on Grealish? I actually replied to Andy, Let's Talk FPL, saying this, and I was sort of joking, but then I was actually not. They were so much better when he went off the pitch, and I've never been put off by a player so much in a 17-minute match than I was put off by Grealish. He was absolutely, that was it. He was not getting in my team because he was better when they went off the pitch, which means I don't think he starts game week 1. And then from there, if he's not starting game week 1, that's it. So yeah, for me, it's not it. Raya, so they have signed another goalkeeper, Brentford, and a few people have tried to tell me that he's going to come in. I just don't see it because Raya is so important. This guy. Raya is so important to everything they do and playing out from the back that I just don't think he's going to get dropped when he was really good last year. So yeah, thoughts on Bowen. Bowen's nice, but again, he's got City game week 1. If you really want him, wait for game week 2 and, go for a 1 week punt. Go Kulusevski game week 1 while Richarlison is injured and then go, okay, I'm going to go Kulusevski to Bowen. If that's really what you want and you want Bowen, do something like that. But I wouldn't be starting with Bowen because of that City fixture. It just feels like you're starting a half a step behind everyone else because of that fixture. Thoughts on Alisson, Haaland or Kane? Alisson I like, 5.5 million. He's still not the one I would go for because I like the likes of Foden. I like the likes of Neto, Bailey probably more than I like him. And again, Leeds are good, but without Rafinha, I do worry about them just a little bit more. Haaland or Kane? I've got Haaland at the moment just because that game week 2 fixture, if you don't have Haaland in your team, game week 2, for me, you're going to want Haaland in your team game week 2 for Bournemouth at home. He's probably going to be the most captain player that week. So yeah, for me, it needs to be him for that game week in particular. Do I think Reece James is a better choice over Robertson? No. But I could do Mount and Robbo to Reece James and Diaz, for example, in my team. But on the face of it, I'd rather him. Thank you all for joining again. 400 of you in here, only 100 likes. Go on, hit the like on the stream, and if you are new, please do hit subscribe. I am going to turn on subscriber only mode. You literally just have to click subscribe because the chat is moving quite fast and I'm trying to answer everyone's questions before the season starts. So I'll turn that on. No duration needed for subscription though, so just make sure you hit that subscribe and we'll get to it. But this is my team. A few things could change, but will I be thinking about getting another top 5k finish? I will indeed. So anyone, again, the league code for my league is above me. There's a link in the description for you to join. There's a link to my Twitter, my Discord, everything down there. But I've also finished top 4k in the past 2 seasons, and I will be doing my very best to get it for another for another season for sure. Again, I've lost a comment, but how do I plan to cover Spurs? Kulusevski seems underwhelming. He was so good last year. He was so good last year, and I owned him along with Son for the second half of the season, and he was really good at times. There are some games where it's a bit annoying. You get Kane, Son banging goals in, and Kulusevski doesn't get it. But if they score 4 goals, he's likely to get something. So he's not bad. I could easily end up with him in there. I could easily end up with him in my team. Do you guys want to do some of your drafts rated on stream? Go on then. Ward, let me put out a tweet now, and if anyone wants, I'm just going to tweet. So if you guys want to get your teams rated, I'm going to post it now. But any members, I'll do that afterwards as well. Give me 1 second. Cool, hang on, I can't type. Give me 1 second. The issue is, they'll all end up being exactly the same. Anyway, posted that now. So go and check that out if you want to get your team rated. Post it on the original tweet, not the tweet that I just posted. Post it on the actual stream tweet. So post it on... So when you go to Twitter, post it. Don't post it on this tweet. Post it on the actual stream tweet. So post it like these people are doing. Yes. Not like these people are doing. No. These ones. These ones. Right, and then we'll get to it in a minute. So go start sending a few teams in there, and we'll get to them in a moment. Did I miss anything? Alex the Kid, welcome back. One of the loyal supporters of the stream. Again, all you loyal supporters coming back for another season. I appreciate it. No. Do I think we'll have Ward as a 4 million? I don't think so. Like, I'd be surprised if they go into the season with Ward, Danny Ward as their starting goalkeeper. Apparently they're linked with Dubravka as well. Now, I can't see him starting the season. He might get a couple of games. If there's a period between Schmeichel leaving and a new keeper coming in, then he might get a couple, but like, it is what it is. There's a small chance. He's probably got the best chance of playing out of all of them, so he's in there, but I don't love it. Who's on penalty kicks for Wolves? Probably Neves. It used to be Neves and Jimenez. They'd rotate depending on who missed. So if you missed a penalty, they'd lose them. It would go to the other one. And it would follow on like that. So I think it will be Neves. It makes sense for him to be. I wish the answer was Neto, but I don't think it will be. Now, if Neves doesn't start, possible. But I think he'll start a majority of games. So should I go Raya or Ramsdell? And who for Grealish for 8 million mid? 8 million mid is definitely better over Grealish, and right Ramsdale if you can afford it, yeah, for sure. Thoughts on Padence? So Padence is a big differential on Neto. People want to go for a differential to start the season. Without Jimenez being fit, Padence is going to play up front basically. However, they do have backup strikers who are likely to mean that Padence gets taken off early. He could go out wide and Gibbs White comes off, for example, but I think he'll only end up playing 60 or 70 minutes every game. He could be playing up front. The front three is basically very fluid. It's a bit like that Liverpool front three now, where they don't have really set positions. They'll rotate. He's not a bad differential. For me, Neto is a better finisher. So I think they'll get a similar amount of chances, but for me, Neto is better goal scorer, so that's why I've gone with him. Best 5 mil defender. Trippier for me. This is why he's the one in my team. Chelsea's defence has been poor in pre-season, which is why I've got none of them in this draft. Now, come game week 1, I could very, very easily end up with one of them in my draft. But at the moment, I've gone with Mount, again, because their opening fixtures, I feel like, are good from an attacking point of view, but not necessarily a defence point of view. Like, here, I'd be surprised if we kept more than 2 clean sheets in the first 5, probably 6, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm not loving Chelsea's defence at the moment, which is why I haven't got one in. And I've said it throughout pre-season, but yeah. Cool, so let's go rate a few of your teams, shall we? Let me refresh this and get some of them up. Does it change who's at the top? Oh, it does. Let's put a few. Oh, Nuclear's lucking out here. Let's start off with, you look like you've taken that screenshot on on a phone from 1920. Look at the state of that. Anyway, Madison I'm not a fan of with the rumours going around. It's basically the same team. Apart from I've gone Bailey up to Martinelli and I've downgraded Ramsdell, which I would do. I think it's better. Martinelli over Bailey for me. Again, if you want to leave comments, it does help. 500,000 on the bank. Again, like, this is my team, basically. 500,000 in the bank because I've got Neto in over Bailey. This is the issue with rating your teams. It's like, this is my team. He did say in the comments, to be fair. This is a little bit different. We've got Son, we've got no Haaland, which is personal preference. I don't like it, but the issue with playing one up front, and I've spoken about this a little bit before, is you look at your bench. Your bench is not good. If soon as like one of these players, let's say Walker gets benched, for example, and Ake plays at left back one game, you're in such a sticky situation straight away. With that bench, you got 2 non-playing forwards basically. I would like, even if it means you have to do Son to Kane, for example, or again, I don't know who else you do, but I would want a second forward in there. Feels so much stronger. Yeah, it feels so much stronger. I need to set up the notifications as well for new subscribers. That's what I need to do before next time. That is what I need to do before next time. Whoa, I was about to say we're going to aim for 23,500 subscribers. Oh, here we go. Before game week 1. And I've already done it. So, no, sorry, before the end of the stream. I am also realising, hang on, give me a sec. Is it filters? Oh, it's how... Oh. Which one do I need to... That's not what we want. Nor is that. I'm just trying to... Sorry, that little bit of like shadow here is annoying me. I don't know if this is changing it on stream. This will be fun. You can watch me play with the settings. Brightness. Gamma. Which option is it? Gamma? Nope, that's definitely not it. Maybe I just need to improve my lighting. That's a bit better. This is fun, isn't it? This is much better than any FPL content. I'm sure everyone's leaving. Yeah. Let me just fix this a sec. Sorry, it's just that little bit of like grey that you have here for my green screen is annoying me when the light, like the sun sets, which means I then have to change the settings. That looks fine. That looks better. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Admin stream, exactly. Entertaining, isn't it? So, sorry, where did we get to? Here, again, that's basically my team. That is also my team. This is Aronson in. But apart from that, that's basically my team. This is the issue, right? Let me find something. This one's got Perisic in, which is fine. Again, you got Bailey first on your sub. This is my issue, is I ended up, if I played a 5 at the back system, I wouldn't be happy with Anderson, Andreas, and then a 4.5 mid and a 4.5 forward, that I'd upgrade one of them to Leon Bailey or to Almiron, for example, but then I give myself a benching headache every week. I either have not a strong enough bench, or I have not a strong enough bench, or I have a team that gives me a benching headache every week, which is why I ended up swapping to a 4 at the back for Patterson, because Patterson helps that sort of squad structure a lot more. You guys, if you guys are wanting to comment your team, here it is. That should take you to the tweet that you need to post it on. While you're there, if you want to retweet that tweet, it would be great. You don't have to, but it would help. Cool, here we go. We've got 8 Nori in this one with Perisic. This is a little bit different. Padence in there as well. I don't hate this. I don't know who this Stansfield is. Presumably doesn't play. Like, the bench for me is, again, a little bit weak, which is my worry with the 5 at the back system. That your bench isn't good enough unless you go investing. And then if you invest, you don't have anyone that you actually want to bench. So that's my worry with this team. It's a good team. I don't see anyone getting benched from the starting 11. You only really have Perisic, who's a bit of a 50-50, but he'll probably come on if he doesn't start. That's the thing with Perisic, that he'll come on. There's a thing with the 5 sub rule generally, that the players are not gonna stay on the bench. We don't really need as strong a bench as maybe we did before, because the chances of these players staying on the bench is very minimal, unless there's an injury. You miss Rudiger being trolled by Dennis and randomly putting in João Pedro. Dennis and randomly putting in João Pedro was my end of season last year, to be fair. I didn't own Rudiger very much, actually. No, didn't actually. Trippier's popping up all through these now. Trippier again. Back 3. Don't see this much. Willock is no-go. Willock might not start. Coutinho is also a no-go. Like Coutinho to Leon Bailey. If you want Villa, it's Bailey now. If you did that, I don't know how much Willock is. You've got Saliba on the bench as well. I have Brentford as a filter. Willock. 5 million. Fine. Like, I'd rather Almiron. So Willock to Almiron, Coutinho to Bailey frees up 2 million. Like, you could upgrade Saliba quite drastically there. If you did that, you could get 6.5 mil. You could, in theory, get Van Dijk. You could go triple Liverpool then. I don't like double Liverpool. I don't see like the point when they're not that highly priced as well. Fred, how are we doing? Nice again. Well, because you haven't got Trippier, you don't need Patterson. Meslier Ward again. It's all very similar, isn't it? It's all very similar. So you've got James and Robbo. You've got no Trippier. Fine. James and Robbo, no Trippier. Fine. Anything else? Again, let's go back to the chat. You're also a threemium like a bot. Jan, I'll be looking forward to seeing your team. Tater Tots, welcome back. Members are in the house this evening. Welcome, guys. Thoughts on Foden? I think if he starts, he could do really well. I agree, and I wonder if he starts now over that Grealish performance in Game Week 1, but I don't know if Pep changes his mind that quickly. But what formation is best? For me, a 4-4-2 is best. It's the most balanced. It's what I've got. But I don't think you need to be set on a formation. Pick the players you want the most, and then fill in the formation afterwards. I wouldn't go, I need a 4-4-2 or I need a 3-5-2. Like, pick the players you want first and then see what it does. Eddie, you're going to have to get Twitter at some point. It's where all the FPL is happening. You can send me on Instagram as well. I don't know, my Instagram abilities are pretty minimal, but you can try on Instagram. You can try over there. Blows your mind that Foden isn't nailed. I know it's Pep, but undroppable in any other team. Well, this is my worry with Foden, is if we go another year where Foden is not starting consistently for Pep, at what point does Foden go, you know what, Pep, if you're not going to start me every week, I'm going to go somewhere else. At what point is Foden going to do this? Or is Foden so Man City born and bred that he's going to just keep sticking it out every single season, no matter how many times he gets benched and gets rested for other players? At what point does Foden go, you know what, I want to play every week and I want to be under a manager who's going to play him every week? I think he gets on with Pep, so I don't think it's going to happen soon. But he's good enough to start every week. Absolutely, he's good enough to start every week. We've got Rashford in this one. What time is it? Got plenty of time. Got plenty of time. So, Tomiyasu's not fit, so I would get rid of him. For someone else, another 4.5. You've got 2 8 million mids in here. You've done quite well to get that, but there's no second premium. That's why Darwin is a no-go for me. I'm a very squad structure type of person, so I like 2 premiums in my squad. I like a premium defense with an 8 million mid. I like my squad structure. Darwin I don't love. I can understand why you'd go for him. I can understand this. You're going to have to captain Salah every week, basically. The bench looks a bit weak, especially with Tomiyasu not being fit. Tomiyasu to Dalot could work because their opening 4 are okay, apart from the Liverpool fixture. So I don't dislike this. I don't dislike this at all. Apart from Tomiyasu. Mara is an interesting one again. With the strength of your bench, you've got a lot of rotation-prone players in here, but it feels like those Man City wingers will get on no matter who they're playing against. Irwin plays. Oh, I'm never going to find it, Irwin. Oh no, now I'm under pressure. Irwin Cooley. If you want to send it to me via DM, it's probably easier. I don't stand a chance. You've got to figure out 5 substitution is going to be a hit a new and very scary level. True, but it could work 2 ways. Can I search? No, apparently not. Apparently not. Oh, and send it to me in DM and I'll find it. Oh, he's sent it. Right, let me hide this and then I'll get back to it. My Diaz over Robbo again. This is one of the big questions that we've got. Again, I don't. My issue with this is it. Oh, okay, it's not gonna show them. Fine. My thing with Robbo versus Diaz is I like Robbo more. It's just a little squad structure thing, a little bit, because the other 8 million mids that you could get with Robbo are not as good. For me, Diaz is better. But I could go Reece James instead of Robertson. I am Robbo over Diaz at the moment. Robbo over Diaz at the moment, yes, is the boat that I'm in. You love my thinking. Appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. So this is the team. I mean, again, it looks like it's been taken on a 1920s camera. But that aside, apart from De Gea Zinchenko, doesn't make sense to me. I'd go Ramsdale, Dalot over those 2. Save you $500,000 as well, and I think they're better options in both positions. Then you save $500,000, which you can upgrade one of your subs if you wanted to. You could go Neco Williams to Dunk. I think it's just because it's been stretched loads. I would do, De Gea Zinchenko and then save the $500,000. I would do that change. Let me hide this again. Victor again. Let's get this one rated. That defense, you've tried there. I love what people try to do with freemiums, but this defense, green screen going AWOL. This team is not a bad version of a freemium. That no Man City defensive cover is not good enough. Like, that's my worry with this team. You need to find a way to get, even if it's Zinchenko to Kyle Walker and you take the punt that Kyle Walker is going to start every week, then that's fine. But you need Man City cover in here. You need that Man City cover in here. That's the thing. Dalot or Dunk, best 4.5. Because we're going to wildcard so early, Dalot, because their first 4 fixtures are better. Yeah, just about. If only 1920s had colour, that's true. It's true, maybe not 1920s. Saloless drafts. We can go and find them. I'm not going to be a fan, I can tell you that in advance. Anyone who wants to post a Saloless draft is not going to get kind words from me. This is an interesting 5 at the back. It's a 3-medium again. Again, I quite like it for what a 3-medium can do. Neto on the bench with Neco Williams starting. Get Neto in here over Neco Williams for sure. Then it's a 4-3-3, which is not bad. Again, there's no Man City cover, and that feels what people like. Jen, didn't you say you were threemium and you've got no Salah as well? Anyway, I need to see your team. We'll put it in the group afterwards. So I like this team. There's no Man City cover, and that seems to be what people are doing as soon as they drop. As soon as they go to a threemium, people are saying Cancelo's the one that goes, and I don't understand it. For me, Cancelo is essential. That Manchester City fixture run, you're going into this fixture run with no Man City defender in your team. If they concede more than 2 goals in their opening 5 games, I will be shocked. I can't believe people want to go without these guys in their team. But personal preference. Expecting Salah to fail is the definition of insanity. True. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting it. Isn't that what they say? Isn't that what the meme is or whatever it is? And people do the same thing, like going against Salah. Let me see if I can find one. There we go. I mean, Undav on the bench for me is, I'd go Undav to a 4.5 and go De Bruyne to Salah, because this doesn't even have, like, if this is your team and you're going Salahless, Mount has to be Diaz. If you're going without Salah, Trent, Robbo, Diaz all have to be in your team. For me, that is non-negotiable. If you're going without Salah, you have to have the 3 biggest threats to your rank that isn't Salah in that. So Mount here has to go to Diaz if you're going without Salah. Undav down to a 4.5. He's not worth it. I'm not sure he's going to start the season. Maybe upgrade. Well, that frees up $1 million De Bruyne to Salah. Simple, but it is what it is. I feel like I'm underrated James. So, this is my draft. It doesn't have James in at the moment, and it's just based on pre-season form. I've gone with and the fact that I like Robertson over Diaz, which means I haven't really got a space in my defence. The only real place that I can change is this. I'm not changing Trippier. I feel like I'm set on Trippier. He was so good for them last year. Their fixtures are pretty good to start the season. I could end up selling him and he could end up going, but it is what it is. I'll do my best to get back to all the DMs of your teams, guys, but again, I can only do my best. I'll only reply to the ones I have. The quote is, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. That's the one. That is the one. I will be able to rate some of them. I will do my best. I will not make any promises on how many I can rate. Pope or Raya? For me, Raya probably. Again, I like Trippier a lot more than I like Pope. Pope's not a bad option because those difficult fixtures he can make saves in, but I don't want to have to play my Newcastle option against Liverpool and Man City, so I don't really want Pope. City at home, Liverpool away is not the one for me, personally. Can I check Chelsea foot team again? I'll do a few more in a minute. We'll do a few more in a minute. Before we do, if you guys again can make sure you've liked the stream as well. Subscribe if you are new. If we hit 25,000 subscribers by game week 1, I was going to say I'll add an extra prize to the mini league or something like that, but we'll see. I'll see if I can do something special if we hit, maybe for the deadline stream, we'll do a special deadline stream if we hit 25,000. We need about 1,500 in 4 days, which is a monumental ask, but let's see. But hitting that like button. Am I sleeping on Jose Sarr? I spoke about him in one of my differential videos. I think it was my differential video. The Wolves fixtures are very, very nice to start the season. Jose Sarr could be a good pick for this run. But he could be a good pick. There's not much saying much else. But if I was going for a 5 million goalkeeper, I'd be going on Ramsdell. Now, you might want to leave that Arsenal spot open, which I understand. But for me, those Arsenal fixtures are better than what we're going to get, the points you're going to get from Jose Sarr. That Wolves team playing a back 4 compared to playing a back 5 that they did last year when Jose Sarr was really good is also a little bit of an unknown. So for me, I'm wanting to go and look at Wolves a little bit more before I go and buy them. You got $1 million in the bank, but I still like your team. Worth doing so. If you've got $1 million in your bank and you like your team, do not feel you have to spend it. I built a draft that had $1 million in the bank, and I didn't spend it. It was quite similar to this, but it had, I think it didn't have Martinelli, and I think it had Martinelli and Almiron. I had Almiron in his place, and I decided to invest it in going Almiron up to Martinelli. So, yeah. What do I think? Mount over Saka. My issue is I'm not sure I want triple Arsenal attack. I'm not sure I want triple Arsenal attack. Are we in? No, we're not. Did I even? I don't even know. Can I? Yeah, so I'm not sure I want to go triple Arsenal attack. Sorry, fiddling with some settings again. I need to do less of that. So that's why I don't have Saka in here at the moment. I might punt on him game week 1 and 2, and then I go, okay, well, which 8 million midfielder do I want to move to? From but it's only going to be game week 5, for example. I could, if I'm not going Ramsdell, I could go Saka in here. That feels very bold, though. That feels very bold. Mount has 11 goals and 11 assists last season, considered he missed 4 games. It's good stats. Mount is good. There are a lot of good 8 million midfielders, right? And one of them will do very well at the start of the season. One of them will do very well at the start of the season. At least one. Not sure what's up with that link, because I sent teams there and I'm not looking at any. Oh, I love that. The sass. Some people will get offended by a comment. I love it. Let's go through a few more. Just before we do, we're going to go through a few more drafts now, and we'll go through a few rapid fire. Just a little reminder that we do... Oh, I love the transition. Also, I need to move my camera up like one box. We have channel memberships as well now. We have 2 tiers. We have tier 1, tier 2. Tier 1, you get every question you ask in the chat answered. No worry about it going beyond. $1.99 a month, the same, half the price of a cup of coffee. Priority chats, you get the badges, you get the emojis and the priority comments. Tier 2 members, you get all of that. Plus, you get added to a members-only league, and you get added to our Twitter group chat as well, where I answer questions all during the week as well, not just on the streams as well. That is why you should all be joining as members, tier 1 or tier 2, before the start of the season. But also, if you guys didn't see my post the other day, the best way, if you guys do want questions answered that isn't on a stream, is the first hour and a half, I basically reply to all the comments on my YouTube videos for about the first hour and a half on most videos, apart from if I'm at work. But I will get back to the majority of them at the very beginning. And so just turn on your notifications as well and post them on YouTube, and that's the best chance. I've got to do my best to get back to as many of them as I can. So let's go through some of these rapid fire. Let's scroll down a little bit. Jays, we're going to, again, I think this is my team, apart from you haven't got Martinelli and you've spent it elsewhere. So and you got Jose Sarr. Where's all your money coming from? Oh, you got Grealish instead of the 8 million. Yeah, I don't like Grealish. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Trossard in here. I can't back Trossard. Rodrigo at Leeds. Again, I don't even know if he's starting. The rest of it I really like. These two need to go 7 as well. What have we got here? Chaël, again, double Chelsea defence I'm not a fan of. Chaël might not start as well. The rest of it I like. Change Chaël to a Spurs defender or to Kieran Trippier. And I will give it a 8.5 out of 10. I like that one. Again, it's quite template, but I like it. This one, Odegaard to Martinelli. Gabriel, I don't love. Like Gabriel, Edison to a half and to Ramsdell and Diaz, for example. Again, Trossard on the bench, I don't love. 7. Just going to give it lower, but I didn't think it deserved lower. This is nice. This is template. There's no 8 million mid, but it's template. You got Bailey on your bench. This is the thing about having the extra strong squad depth is you've got Bailey on your bench. Unsure on who to bench. Well, this is the issue. You've got no one that you want to bench. I'd probably bench Kyle Walker away at West Ham before I'd bench Bailey, because you've already got Cancelo as Man City defensive cover. So I'd do that. I would do that first. What time is it? Oh, I still got 10, 15 minutes or so. Cool. There's a lot going on. I don't know what's going to happen with Ward, but anyway. Son and Haaland on Mahrez and Kane. Son and Haaland. But it's about 4 million more expensive. Sterling's not worth 10 million. I'd go with Mount to start the season. He's had a good pre-season at 8. I wouldn't take the risk on Sterling. Thoughts on Callum Wilson and Meslier? Callum Wilson's fine. They have a good opening run of fixtures, but more from a defensive point of view. So, yeah, I'm not a big Callum Wilson fan. I was, but I've gone off him a little bit because of those fixtures. Meslier is fine. The opening fixtures are pretty good for him. I don't know how many clean sheets they'll keep, though. It's the only thing. Cool. So, what else have we got here? I thought that was Salahless, but it's not. They're all the same. Look at this template. Look at this. I'm doing a rating your teams video on Wednesday, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to get enough teams that are not the same. It's like everyone owns Trent, Cancelo, Robertson, Salah, an Arsenal mid, Jesus, Haaland, a cheap mid. Like, it's the same. The template is strong. Wow. Let me know in the comments in the chat. Let me turn slow-mo down a little bit. Who your captain for game week 1 is. Is everyone on Salah? I've got another question as well I'm going to ask you in a minute. I'm skipping so many Salah-less drafts. I'm not. They've all got Salah in. But I don't... Yeah, let me know who your game week 1 captain is. They've all got Salah in. This one doesn't. Let's go over this in a minute. While everyone's putting their captain in for game week 1 in the chat, let's have a look at this. We've got Raya. The money's been spread well. Like Luis Diaz, Trent, Robbo, as I said, you've got to have those. Mount, Padence, like it's good. You've got Haaland, Kane and Jesus in there. Like it's pretty nice. I'd even consider doing Diaz and Dallo to Robertson, and I don't know if you can afford Martinelli if you do that. You probably save $1 million, then you might not be able to get to it. But I'd have a look at that. I've already got Robertson. What am I doing? Yeah, I like it. I'd potentially look at... Well, as a Salah-less draft goes, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, captain-wise... Captain-wise, a lot of Salahs, a couple of Kanes, one KDB in there as well. A Vardy captain. Wow. Vardy. Harry Kane. Salah. Wow. The other question is, who's the one differential that you wish you could take a punt on for game week 1 that you can't? So I don't want to see Kevin De Bruyne in the chat. I can't own Son and Haaland in the chat. Who's that differential that you wish you I quite fancy him for the start of the season, but I'm not going to end up going for him. Mine probably Harvey Barnes. Their opening fixtures are pretty nice. Or Benrahma. Let's see these differentials. This is where it's going to be interesting. A bit something different. Who have we got? Sancho in there. Almiron. Almiron's a good shout. Sancho in there. Harvey Barnes, the same as me. Yeah, the Spurs defenders. Ronaldo. Not sure he's going to get in playing. Not sure he's going to be playing. Lingard. Those fixtures are not good. Haaland. Grealish. Núñez. Bamford. Tony. Foden. Vardy. Núñez. A lot of Núñez in the chat. Yeah, Wilson. Wilson's an interesting shout. Wilson is definitely an interesting shout. And we'll go with one more of these, maybe. One or two more of these. I quite like these. It's good to get the quick fire options in. I tried to... Oh, this is why I can't turn subscriber only mode on or off, because YouTube's not working. Got it. Right, that's why none of it's working. I was going to turn off slow mode, but I can't. So the final one, who do you think the biggest highly owned flop for the start of the season is going to be, that is over 10% owned, that's not going to have a good start to the season, and everyone is going to end up jumping off them? Who is that player? Let me get the ownership up for you. Who is that highly owned player that's not going to do... Let's go team selected by. That's not going to have a good start to the season, that everyone is going to end up selling pretty early on. I don't know. Bruno Guimaraes. I don't understand why he's 14% owned at all. Who have we got? Reece James. Yeah, that's another one I'm so undecided on at the moment. Jesus. No. I'm so sold on him. Neto. A lot of Neto shouts in the chat. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Neto. Martial. James. Perisic. Neto. Wolves are a shambles. Yeah, could happen. Mark my words, it'll be Haaland. New signing to the Premier League is often slow to hit the ground. Slow to hit the ground, or hits the ground running slowly? Something like that. Cancelo for sure. I don't know how it can be Cancelo. I don't know how it can. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. Before we go, a quick reminder of the 2 membership tiers we have. The benefits of them all there. You can sign up throughout the season as well. But if you want to join pre-game week 1, I can start helping you with your game week 1 team as well. Please make sure you've liked the stream before you go. Subscribe. There is a video. I recorded it, but it needs to be edited. I am off to watch Love Island. Jen knows exactly. The Love Island finale. That's why the stream ended at 9. That's why I'm going. Make sure you've liked the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. Again, we're trying to get to that goal. We're trying to get to that goal of 25,000 by the start of the season. Your support in pre-season already has been crazy. Get those notifications turned on as well. Let's all go and enjoy Love Island. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back again. There'll be a stream on Friday as well. Not deadline, but there'll be a morning lunchtime stream as well. Respect Dented. I'm sorry. Next quickfire. Who's going to win Love Island? Yeah, get that in the chat. It's going to be Davide and Ekin-Su for sure. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Make sure you've liked, subscribed, join as a member if you want, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Ooh.